3, 2, 1, we're live! And we're back with another DrakenStone Kickstarter update. This is Kickstarter number 6, and what we're making is the Dice Tower of Fortune. The best dice tower, the only dice tower you'll ever need. Alright, has this cool magnetic tray that snaps on and everything. It's going to be great. Okay, we set up all our molds and everything is ready. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and start pouring. Step 1, wear your gloves, everybody. Step 2, I already put mold release in all the molds. So if they look a little shiny or wet, it's because I just put, it's like a waxy substance that makes it so it doesn't stick. Okay, here we go. So let's go ahead and start pouring. I kind of pre-measured a little bit some of these. I pre-measured a little bit of this stuff because it was the bottom of the barrel, the very bottom of the bucket. So I got 4 cups. I'm going to pre-measure the 4 cups. Alright, so here we go. Alright, we're using this smooth cast onyx. This is the stuff that makes it jet black. And we also mix in some of this kind of bright yellow so it makes a gray. Yeah, there we go. About 70 grams. There we go. Alright, we got the part A. Okay, let's go ahead and put in these dots. Okay, these are the that's called quarry tone. Okay, that makes it look like granite when you put it in there. It's little black and white dots of different sizes. This makes it look like a real stone. So we'll put a scoop of that in each one of the cups. Okay, and then we're also going to put in, this is actually something I bought at the pet store, okay, for aquariums. You know the little tiny rocks or sand you put at the bottom of your aquarium? So this is non-toxic. It's just little tiny black dots. Alright, it's like sand, except it's more lightweight. Okay, so that gives it more of a even, like a realistic look, okay? Okay, here we go. Now we're gonna put in part B. So far this is just part A, so there's no chemical reaction. But as soon as part B hits it, then that means it's gonna go ahead and start the chemical reaction, and it's gonna start setting up, and it's gonna start getting hot. So as soon as you pour it, you gotta have everything ready. Okay, the first thing I'm gonna pour is the one with the magnets. Okay, these two have magnets, and I've already placed the magnets inside. And so I dribble a little bit of the resin on, and then I coat the magnet, and then I pour the rest of the piece. Okay, so here we go. Okay, 50 grams. Okay, and then this is going to be 60 grams. Jet black. Okay, if you want to get one of these cool dice towers, hey, this one could be for you. You could get this one. I'm making it for you right now. Just head on over to Kickstarter and make a pledge, and then you can get this particular dice tower. Okay, mixing it up really good. Let's move the scale. Okay, here we go. Of course, I always forget to level the tables before the video starts, but that's okay. Alright, so we're going to start with these two that have the magnets. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to put some here, and we're going to put some here, and we're going to put a little there, and a little here. Okay, grab a toothpick. Alright, so what I'm doing right now is I'm going to coat those magnets and make sure they're completely submerged and below the surface. We're going to make sure there's no air bubbles under them. We're going to get the magnets just in the perfect spot so that they line up just right. That looks good. That looks good. There is the tiniest of little grooves that the magnet sits in so that you know it's just right. I'd say that's just right. Okay, now we fill them up all the way. Here it goes. I like to get some of the dots from the bottom. You know, those granules, they sink a little bit, so from time to time you got to scrape them up off the bottom. Because otherwise, see, we're just pouring off the top of the cup. Okay, now to make sure every single piece is the same color, here's how I manage that. I'm going to put some of this in every mold, see? Some in here, some in there, some in here. Okay, so all these pieces are going to be exactly the same color. They all came right out of the same cup. It can't be different. It's all from the same cup. Okay, so at least the surface will be this exact color. Now if I fill the mold the rest of the way and it's ever so slightly different, you won't even notice because it'll be inside the piece. Okay, so those are looking perfect. This also gives you the chance to level things if you need to. Alright, so now let's mix up the next cup. Break out the scale again. Okay, here's our scale. Get that second cup going. Alright. And here we go. Let's start with Featherlight. This is Featherlight resin. Okay. 60 grams of black. All right. Okay, it's going to be the exact same color because I measured it perfectly down to the gram. Stir it up. Some in there, some in this one. I don't really need to fill this mold right now. Okay, but let's bring these over so you can see them more clearly here. Get going on this one. And the last one. There we go. Okay, and those rocks sink to the bottom. And so if I have a few extra rocks there, I'm putting it in a special spot here along the edge of the dice tray. Okay, so that means that with the dice tray, these tips of the, what do you call them, crenellations, I guess is what they're called in castle terms, those will be like more of a rock surface. Okay, so next step. You know, there are a little bit of undercuts in some of those molds, guys, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that there's not bubbles. I don't want any bubbles. I want that to go with no voids or bubbles. Here we go. So we're going to add featherlight. 50 grams. It's the bottom of the bucket, and that's okay. Alright, and then we're going to add 60 grams of this. Okay, and then I have some drop molds in case you have extra resin. It's always handy to have these extra molds just handy, because if you have too much resin in your cup, you don't want it to go to waste. And so if I've mixed up too much resin, I can pour some additional things. That one over there is the Pet Jelly Cube base, and that one over there is the bumpers and rollers for the inside of the dice tower. I already have a few of those, so I'll pour extra. Alright, so now also we can make sure that this is level. Okay, see, that's going to come out perfect right there because that's perfectly level. If it's not, I can sand the back a little bit, but I'd rather not sand. I'd rather have it just come out in one step. Okay, that one looks perfect. See if I can get on the camera a little bit better here for you. There we go. Get this one. Perfect. Okay, now this one. Perfect. Next one. Okay, next one. Trying not to disturb that first layer by pouring too hard. Just kind of dribbling, so really don't want to disturb that first layer. because the rocks are all distributed evenly. Alright, you just need a little bit more. Little bit more. Okay, and we got enough resin to mix up just a little bit more. Okay, here we go. So, break out another bucket of the feather light. Okay. Grab our stir stick. Alright. It's kind of an older batch of feather light here that I haven't stirred up yet. Alright, so you know, this stuff, I could pull this stuff out of the mold in an hour or two and then just keep going. Other kinds of resins, you know, you got to leave them in the mold for 24 hours or whatever, but this stuff, hey, you can just, it's done in an hour or two. Alright, here we go. So 50 of this. Alright, so I can make these dice towers really fast. In previous Kickstarters, like when I did the magnet maps, boy, I had to really pour and pour and pour. And you had to leave those in the mold for 12 hours or something. So it took forever. But with these, I can pour in an hour, and maybe 2 at the most. I can just pull them out and then start pouring again. I could probably make 5 dice towers a day. With this Kickstarter, I might actually be finished making all the dice towers on the day that it ends. So you won't even have to wait. You can just get it right away. Alright, there's a few lumps in there. Okay, here we go. So this one needs a little bit more. I'm going to try not to get those lumps though. There we go. Alright, that dice tower is looking like everything's coming out perfect. Oh boy, now I have way too much resin. I have this whole cup. I think I mixed up too much. Alright, so good thing we got our drop molds ready. Let's just go ahead and make some jelly cube bases. These are going to come out extra cool because I'm really getting a lot of those rocks in there from the bottom. They're going to be extra granity. There we go. Alright, and then now we're going to pour this guy. Alright, then I've got lots of extra resin, so let's see what else I can make. You know what? I have this drop mold right here. I'm just going to pour it in there. Cool. Okay, mission accomplished. Now let's just make sure everything is nice and even and doesn't have too much flashing hanging off the edge. It's already set up. Okay. Alright, we're good. Alright, there's one dice tower. It's all poured. In an hour or two I can pull those out of the mold. I can make another. Okay, and of course when it's done, it looks like that. Hope you enjoyed watching that process, and if you ordered a dice tower on Kickstarter, hey, well, you might just get this one. So wasn't it fun to watch? It only took me a short time. And so, like I said, I can make 5 of those a day. Alright, thanks for tuning into that, and stay tuned for more videos coming in the future. Bye, everybody.